My name is Jason Williams, aka JP Slouch, also known as Broom. I've been making music since I was a kid. I think around 8 years old, and it's my passion. Along the way, I've met up with some pretty interesting characters, all with their own unique stories, views, and talents. This podcast show celebrates those friends I've amassed in my many years of ups and downs in this crazy trip that we all call life. Join me as I go 4 drinks deep with JP Slouch and PALS. Let's just go. Let's just do this. Hey, what's up, Scott? Hey, and welcome to 4 Drinks Deep. How's it going this Sunday?
Okay. I'm tired, but okay.
Yeah. Nice, man. Good to hear from you. Good to hear from you. So basically, thanks for coming on. Just a little basic podcast that I got going on. One of the first people to come on. So thanks for being brave and coming on and checking it out and all that and taking time out of your day. I really appreciate that, brother.
Got it. I got nothing better to do.
Right on. Well, dude, let's just jump right into this, man. Dude, like, I was just thinking, back in the days of where we first met and everything like that. And well, first, tell the viewing audience who you are and what you do.
Hi, I'm Scott Medlen. I'm a USPS worker, letter carrier, postman, mailman. I got tons of fascinating hobbies, which sometimes take the back burner because of work.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, I was gonna ask, I remember meeting you at a party. I'm not sure which party it was, but I remember you were a really good piano player and everything back in the days. And I remember, I don't know if you remember the party, but it was like
I do remember that.
A grand piano that you're playing, you're busting out the moves, and that's what drew me to you. You've always been kind of a really good artist musician type, and I was just kind of curious, where is that come from? Where is your influence on that and how you were as a kid with making music and creating the art and everything that you do? That is so amazing.
Well, I got kind of raised with it. My folks, my dad was in a Chuck Berry cover band in the 60s.
Oh, nice.
And so he sort of taught me a lot of basic musical skills, and I just kind of went with it from there. And I paint as well, and that comes from my mom's side of things. She always painted French Impressionism, and once again taught me the fundamentals, and I just sort of took off from there.
How old were you when you were doing that kind of thing, like creating songs and making this great art that you do?
I don't know, I was kind of weaned on it. It was just sort of came naturally with being up, nature versus nurture. This is nature and nurture. So, yeah.
Very cool. And like it definitely did take off, man. Like I remember you were busting out some stuff with us in the Feldmans back in the days when we were playing some shows and doing everything with the crazy keys on there and all that. And then after that, you got into your own little solo project. It was called like Dr S&M. So like, tell me where did that come from, the whole Dr S&M thing, and what was the whole basis behind the whole, because it was like a character in a sense, right?
Yeah. Well, it just sort of came from my initials, and plus how painful noise music can be.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and sort of inspired me to yeah, get crazy with some feedback and some drum machines, and um, yeah, and the whole doctor thing came from my dad being a doctor, so I just felt it was sort of fitting in. So I had a lab coat, gimp mask. Um, I even got this girl to dress in the sexy nurse uniform and whip me while I was playing guitar or
Some
tried to play
amazing
guitar
shows. Some
as I was
amazing shows
being
for
whipped.
sure.
Yeah. I do various things like put a electric razor to the guitar and cause all sorts of feedback and noise, and a lot of fun. Yeah.
Definitely. I miss that stuff, man. Were you thinking about maybe bringing that back? I remember having a conversation with you not that long ago. You were talking about maybe resurrecting Dr. S&M back again.
Yeah, possibly, because with my job, I work about maybe six days out of the week, 13-hour days. Not a lot of time to myself, and not a lot of time to devote to a band, unfortunately. And my unfortunately, my last band, it kind of took its toll in terms of like, having time to do it all. Um, so maybe a solo project makes sense. I don't know.
Yeah, I do realize with bands, man, with bands I was in the past and everything, it definitely is a commitment, right? You got like, sometimes three, sometimes four other people in the band, and it's hard to get on the same page, hard to get everybody together, and it's just
Mhm.
tough, man, especially nowadays when everyone has their own stuff going on, it's like it's intense. It's intensely crazy, but well worth it, man, for sure. If you can try to find like the good balance between, work life balance and band life balance and all that stuff together.
Stuff though, but you know, you gotta eat and you
Yeah.
gotta pay rent and everything, every fundamental essential thing. Uh, Unfortunately, sometimes that the creative side of things have to take the back burner to priorities, unless you've actually made it, unless you've actually, have your record contract or have somebody support you, and God knows, you don't really wouldn't want that.
Well, man, I definitely remember distinctly one of my favorite songs by any of my friends ever written was Mothership, for sure, for the Feldmans that you wrote for us on there. Very cool song about it. What I got from it was like, just someone coming back home from the mothership, meaning like, someone not from this earth kind of deal. Can you give me a little more explanation on the song Mothership, and also with your like writing style was in Hammer Horror Classics, which is one of my favorites too, like very like horror driven, very like a little bit dark but also kind of like snooty at the same time, from like the Hammer Horror Classics kind of days and things like that.
Well, with Hammer Horror Classics, I mean, that was, we were doing horror themed music just to kind of stay focused with that type of songwriting and just keeping with the theme. But we didn't want to be like all these horror rock bands that took themselves too seriously. We did not take ourselves too seriously. That was a fun band. Um, yeah, and then we went our separate ways, as sometimes that happens.
Yeah. Well, like I said, one of my favorite bands all time, like Hammer Horror, definitely some very fun, interesting songs that you got there. What would you think that your songwriting style, did you model it after anyone in particular, or is it just kind of like, how you said you want to always kind of put tongue in cheek to things and not take anything way too seriously?
Yeah, I mean we had tons of influences when it with Hammer Horror. I mean, mostly there was a lot of inspiration from Roky Erickson.
Mhm.
Um, he was a crazy individual. Look him up. I
Oh yeah.
I won't explain him. Uh, but yeah, there was like the basic Misfits, but also Daniel Johnston, another crazy individual, and once again, that's a whole other rabbit hole. Um, yeah, we just I don't know. We form. I formed this with Mike DeVita, and when we grew up, we were both in sort of the Universal horror monsters and whatnot. And it really sort of came down to our childhood too, just growing up on all that. So it was a bonding theme, you know.
That's cool. So how did it go? Because like starting bands with friends is like some of the best things you can do, right? It makes it so it's a little bit easier to get on the same page with them as opposed to like, where you hear all these stories of like these big bands that are huge, like putting out ads in the paper and things like that, getting their bandmates and everything. How did the conversation go in starting a band like Hammer Horror Classics, and like how was it, how does it like happen and come to fruition, like on that?
Well, I think we just sort of formed it naturally because when when friends are bored and they've got nothing else to do with their spare time, I don't know, these things sort of form naturally.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. In terms of being in bands with friends, I've always kind of thought, not that I've ever toured, but I always have the thought that if you're going to tour with somebody, you're going to want to be on a tour bus with them and not annoy the piss out of each other. Like
Yeah.
you're gonna want to be better friends after that tour than you are. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe it works for people who search for members on Craigslist, and
Mhm.
maybe that's what people do. But personally speaking, I don't know. I like to have comrades. You know. You know.
Yeah, and similar backgrounds too. It seems like, right, with you and Mike, like you guys both, like you said, were into the same kind of like Hammer horror films and all that kind of thing. So it's definitely known that that's the type of style and everything you guys are going for, and it definitely came out in the music and all that. You guys had multiple members in that band too, so the band kind of evolved in a sense, right? Did it start out with just you two, or that did it?
Started as yeah, we started as a duo, and then we got in Galen Leach on bass
Mhm.
of the Translators fame, another amazing songwriter, and that was an amazing band too.
Totally.
Um, and he brought a lot more expertise, I think, to the duo thing. Because I mean, I'm okay on guitar, but that guy sort of like, I don't know, sort of solidified it, you know.
He's totally phenomenal, man. Galen is he's a talent for sure.
Yeah. And then but then once again, he couldn't find time to practice, and unfortunately we had to let him go and replace him because needed we needed a bassist. So then and I hope there was no heartbreak there, but people go their own separate ways.
Mhm.
But then we brought in um, Chuck Severs, another amazing bassist, amazing human being.
Yeah, definitely.
Um, yep. And then we brought in Jeremy, and Jeremy was phenomenal on rhythm guitar. He having a rhythm guitar, you can just sort of free yourself up to do leads, and that helped. Yeah, yeah,
And every one of them probably bringing in their own unique background of music style and everything as well, right?
correct. Yes.
Yeah. So even more so, like, and you can definitely see with like I remember going to the earlier shows, right? It was very like more kind of like punk driven, loud, like very kind of like aggressively fast. And then later on, the creature from the Black Lagoon, one of my favorite ones, and everything, are very more like melodically jangly, still fast and angry, but very like on a different spectrum of like kind of eerily creepy sounding melodically, like someone evilly singing as you're walking down the street. You know what I mean? Like very like manic sounding. That's what I loved about Hammer Horror. One of my favorites. Like definitely a lot of
Sure, that worked.
cool, a lot of cool stuff on
That
there.
worked.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it definitely. So like another thing about you, I know a lot of people probably don't know, but you are a very accomplished artist, right? You had a couple of
Mm.
gallery openings and things as well. that I went to. One of the first things that I want to do when I moved into my place here was get some of your art that I have on your wall, like on my wall today, still like some very, again, dark, like horror driven stuff, but also you have a little bit of kind of like I want to say what's the word I'm looking for, maybe like a desperation kind of in the art, because I see there's always like some kind of really dark colors with, you know, some kind of someone in distress or something where you're looking at it. There's always some kind of a nervous reaction when you're staring at some of your pieces. Is there any kind of thing that you're doing while you're creating this, that you're trying to do it on purpose, or is it just something as it's coming out? Like, explain to me the process of your artist and how you go with painting.
Well, yeah, I mean, it naturally comes out. I mean, I sort of, what I do first is I just sort of put down some base colors. I don't even think about the subject matter until it just sort of comes to me. It's sort of, you know, seems like it should be there.
Mm-hmm.
So, and nothing's totally intentional. Sometimes, you know, sometimes I'm just doing it just because I like what I'm doing, you know. Yeah, it's therapeutic. I mean, like Albert Munch, The Scream. Besides The Scream, he did a bunch of ones based on anxieties and different mental states. I'm sort of working on one right now. Like I said, no real
Nice.
subject matter yet, but I just keep staring at it until something comes forth. Yeah.
That's really cool. So like in a typical, like, you know, art piece, how long would it take you to do from the, you know, blank canvas to finish art piece?
I mean, not long in terms of like how many hours I put into it.
Mm-hmm.
It could usually take anywhere from 3 hours to 4, 6 hours, maybe.
Okay.
Um, Relatively speaking, with other, you know, with other people who do paintings. I mean, I work with acrylics, so they dry quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a lot of time. I work like, once again, I work too goddamn much
Yeah.
for anything, you know. So um so yeah, it usually gets done in a day off. So yeah.
Nice. Well, very cool. Very cool. So like what's up next with you? What do you got going on in the future? What can we expect from Scott Medlen coming forward?
I have no idea.
Well, looks like you're still doing the painting, which is great. Are you thinking about maybe having like another, like maybe art show or something in the future, or maybe even just like recording some kind of a thing coming out? Because like I would love to hear some of the stuff that you got going on. You know.
Yeah, me too. I'd like to hear it too. I haven't been doing much. I wish I was doing more. Um, like I said, the job that I have presently, it doesn't afford me a lot of free
Yeah.
time,
Hmm.
and it sucks. I wish I could, you know, it's a stable, secure job, and I'm eating well, and I've got a great place. Um, but yeah, maybe I do the whole Dr S&M thing again. Um, yeah, who knows? We'll find out.
Yeah, it'll be great. Well, whatever you do, I can't wait to go and check it out and see it, because I'm sure whatever you do, it's going to be badass for sure. And like that work-life balance is very important, man. We can fall down that hill of like, you know, working to live, you know, as opposed to living to work, you know, right? So you want to make sure that you're doing what makes you happy, do some kind of thing that keeps you grounded and in touch with
Right.
your inner art self for sure.
Ozzy Osbourne had that one song, "Killing Yourself to Live." I think that sort of sums it up right there. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, all right. Are you ready to do some quick shots? Not quick shots, but quick shots, meaning a bunch of quick questions that I got for you.
Sure. One second though. Let me get some
Yeah,
water.
go get something to sip on, and we'll be right back.
Pause.
All right. Pause. And welcome back. So, quick shots. What you sipping on first there, Scott, before we get into started?
La Croix.
All right. Ready to go. We're going to start out easy. What's your favorite pizza topping?
Pineapple.
What worst concert you ever played or saw?
Oh, there's so many. I'm gonna pass on that just because, yeah.
There's been too many. Is there anything from your past that you regret?
Pass.
Do you know what your life purpose is?
To live.
Happiest memory that you have?
Too many. Pass. Come on.
What's your worst fear?
Fear itself? No. My worst fear. God. Too many. Pass.
What's the most important lesson you learned in your last relationship?
That I'd like something that lasted longer.
All right. And are you more of an introvert or extrovert?
Depends on my mood.
What are you the most passionate about?
La Croix. No, I'm kidding. I'm passionate about passion fruit.
Who or what inspires you?
You inspire me.
What's your greatest strength?
My muscles.
What is a lesson that life tried to teach you but you didn't learn?
Oh, I haven't learned it yet.
Who or what do you think of when you think about love?
Baby, don't hurt me no more.
Who or what do you think of when you think about love?
Oh, that's deep. That's too deep for me right now. Pass.
What in your life do you feel the most grateful for?
I feel grateful for being this far above ground.
Definitely. What is a life lesson that you learned recently?
Don't let your guard down.
What's something that you can't live without?
Air.
Is it more important to you to be loved or to be loved? So, meaning, is it more important to you to love or be loved?
I think both are up there on the importance scale. I think it's important to love and to be loved.
What is something you would do if you know you wouldn't fail at it?
Oh, everything.
When was the last time you cried and why?
I cried yesterday.
And why?
Because I had to.
All right. What is one trait about yourself you absolutely love?
Oh, my resilience.
What's a quality you have you try not to let others see?
I'm not going to tell you.
Do you think it's better to be loved or feared?
Oh, loved. Don't fear me. You can if you'd like to. Scary guy.
What's the greatest challenge you're facing in your life right now?
Oh, just maintaining a balancing act, and getting back to work. I've had COVID for the past week or so.
Yeah, yikes. Is there any way I can support you in overcoming that challenge?
I guess, yeah, just don't get COVID.
I'll try. So far, so good. Knock on wood. You know, it's tough. Both of our jobs are trying to make it so it's the hardest thing ever. But
You know, being a mailman, you're essential. You're out on the front lines, so to speak. Yeah.
What are 3 words you would use to describe the last 3 months of your life?
June, May, April.
What's one thing you would tell yourself 5 years ago?
Oh, good job in avoiding cryptocurrency.
What would you be doing for work if not being a mailman right now?
Oh, I'd be Pablo Picasso.
Nice. What's something about me that really irritates you?
That question.
If you were an animal, what do you think you would be?
Probably an animated duck.
That's very precise.
Howard the duck is my spirit animal. I'm convinced of this.
There you go. Yes. What's the most embarrassing thing you've done recently?
I just shit my pants as soon as you said that question.
What song will you be playing in 20 years that will make you seem really old?
Oh, what a lucky man he was. Something like that.
What's the weirdest thing you've ever seen?
Oh, seen a lot of weird shit. God, I've seen a lot of weird shit. Ask me in person. I'll tell you when the book comes out.
All right. Oh, yeah, the book. There we go. There we go.
I'm
If your
writing
life,
it.
okay, speaking of which, if your life was a movie, what would it be called and who would play you?
What would it be called? S&M, and it'd be starring Steve Buscemi.
Nice.
But
If
it'd
you
be
had
like
to
a
leave,
Benjamin,
was
it'd be
that
like a Benjamin Button thing, though. He'd probably play me as a kid too, as an old man.
What's the weirdest place you've ever fallen asleep?
Oh, I'll tell you about a recent. I fell asleep on my back porch recently,
Oh, nice.
and I swear to God, I was still delivering the mail. I thought I was still delivering, and I thought, what the hell? Why am I in my pajamas? I shouldn't be taking a break at work at home right now. And then I went to a total panic attack, and then I was realized, oh shit, it's my day off.
Oh, man.
So
I hate but love those two. You love them after the fact, but... All right, just a few more to go, man. You're almost there, in the home stretch.
all right, do I get some hot wings with this?
What do you like the most about people? And then what do you dislike the most about people?
Oh, I like that people can surprise me in a good way. And then I hate that people, when I have bad expectations and they don't surprise me. Yeah.
Do you think that everyone is created equal?
I'd like to say yes, but in this society, unfortunately not.
What do you love the most in life?
Living.
What's the point of living if we all wind up dead anyway?
It's how precious it can be.
Do you believe in karma? And if so, how do you think it works?
I believe in karma, but I don't think it exists.
Is it more important to believe or to know?
I believe I don't know.
What's one thing you hope to never forget?
Who I am. Dementia and Alzheimer's would be a horrible thing.
Yeah. Is falling in love worth it without the happily ever after?
Oh, sure.
Do you think bullies often see themselves as bullies?
Probably not.
And what do you think about the freedom of speech?
I think you should shut up now.
The last one. What
Okay.
do you think of the current younger generation?
These kids today with their hair and their clothes and their stupid music, get off my lawn!
Scott, thank you so much for taking time out to come on the show, the very first show. I appreciate everything. And yeah, do you want to leave the audience with anything else?
Next time I do this, I want some hot wings.
All right, we'll get hot wings for you next time. All right, bye, man. Well, I'll talk with you after the recording.
Okie dokie.